My name is Nchakha Moloi. I'm the chairman of Motjoli Resources. Would like to thank the annual African Annual Mining Summit, Gaborone 2020, for giving us an opportunity to present our company, Motjoli Resources, and the projects that we are currently pursuing in South Africa. Motjoli Resources was established in 2004, and it has a significant footprint at the moment in South Africa. We are a 100% Black-owned, Black-managed, and Black-controlled resources and construction materials company. Whilst we are invested in a number of empowerment transactions, our primary objective is to establish an independent African mining champion focused on the production of base minerals, energy, and construction materials. As a company, we have invested in local and internationally listed companies, as well as in local projects associated with these companies. Examples are, we are invested in Aquila Resources, a company that had invested seriously in iron ore in both Limpopo and Northern Cape in South Africa, and is still a participant in the manganese project in the Northern Cape. We are invested in Exxaro Resources as a minority shareholder in Lafarge, South Africa, in South 32 through their Hotazel manganese mines in the Northern Cape province of South Africa, and also in Kombi Mining, which is the holder of the Cascade iron ore project that is based in Piet Retief in Mpumalanga province. The company has diverse experience of developing projects. An example is that we have developed a coal resources in both Limpopo province of South Africa and in Mpumalanga in the Witbank field, which resulted in the establishment and listing of Coal of Africa Limited on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. We have completed a bankable feasibility study over a 1.5 million ton domestic coal treatment plant with Anglo American at Crystal Colliery in Mpumalanga. This is our company holding structure, and as you can see, we are a diversified company that looking primarily at bulk materials. So we have an exposure in aggregate and cement, we have exposure in manganese, we have exposure in iron ore. And these are the bulk materials that make sense for the 20th century for us in terms of infrastructure build and development. Now, if you look at the project that we believe our first one, which is called Meletsi Iron Ore Project, is an 80.8 million ton high-grade hematite deposit. The second one is a project that is in the Northern Cape, next to the town of Grootegelstad, which is at the moment we have delineated a resource of 10.6 million tons with a grade of 60% Fe. The other iron ore project, as I've said, is in Mpumalanga along the Swaziland border, which is a 2.10 billion ton magnetite deposit with 29.6 Fe average grade. And the fourth project, that is a material project that we're developing in conjunction with Power Steel, who are now the current shareholders in Aquila, is the 142 million tons manganese project in the Northern Cape with an average grade of between 38 and 40% manganese. Now we will look into details in each project. We'll start with Meletsi Iron Ore Project that is in Thabazimbi, Limpopo province of South Africa. Meletsi is based some 280 kilometers north of Johannesburg and roughly 30 kilometers east of the town of Thabazimbi, where Kumba Iron Ore started its mining operations in the early 1930s. You can see on these pictures that the Melezi Iron Ore project, which is 30 kilometers, is based in the same geological terrain, the same structural environment as Kwaggashoek, the old Kumba mine. And you can look at the structure and the dip of the iron ore is very, very similar. And we have now established through our work that even the grade and metallurgy are very similar. Our project is based on Melezi Mountain, and we've got a number of iron ore lenses exposed. You can see some of them exposed in this 3D picture. And here is our pit design. And you can actually see each and every one of these depict the lenses which are dipping in a southwesterly direction. We have, of course, alongside with Aquila, invested significantly in the development of this project. You can see from April 2010 to December 2012, we had upgraded our mineral resources from 21.9 million tons inferred resource to an 80.7 million tons measured, indicated, and inferred resource at 61.1 FE. And we have outlaid significant capital in the development of this world-class iron ore deposit in South Africa. And this slide shows the grade distribution and resource classification. You'll see that we have around 37 million tons of resources that are in the measured category, grade in between from 60 to around 65% FE. We have 23.5 million tons of resources in the indicated category and the 20.2 million tons in the inferred category. Again, you will see in this slide that there are no deleterious elements in this iron ore. Our silica in the measured category is below 8%, aluminum very low, potassium low, and phosphate and sulfur also very low. And this is what makes this project so exciting. This is our currently our conceptual production schedule, where we are planning at a maximum production rate. We had planned to produce around 4 million tons per annum. And this would be a life of 18 years. And you can see the split between direct shipping ore and ore that will require processing through a DMS. But I must say that we have since, as part of our ongoing feasibility study, we have relooked at this production schedule, and we believe that an optimal resource will be between 2.5 and 3 million tons. At a high level, this will be our strategy and infrastructure that we are looking at. We are developing the project, and our target is, of course, the local market. Our natural partner in the local market is ArcelorMittal, Vanderbilt Park Works. And of course, we also have to look to diversify our risk at the potential for export market. And our ports that we are targeting for this is the Maputo port and the Richards Bay port. And we have done significant infrastructure and logistics work at the moment to look at both rail capacity, availability of the sidings on the existing rail, and also availability of capacity at both the Maputo and the Richards Bay port. Now, if you go to the Northern Cape, we have the Phaphama Iron Ore Project, next Grootegelstad, Northern Cape, South Africa. This project is based very close to existing iron ore mines. Examples will be there, as you can see, it's Kolomela. We are just like 60 kilometers south of Kolomela, and you can see also Assmann's Beeshoek. It's an interesting project, but a smaller project. This is our total holding of our prospecting rights, and that red square there is where we have now currently applied for a mining right. Again, in here, we have invested significant amount in exploration of this resource. It is a high-grade hematite deposit on the southern edge of the Maremane Dome. Same structural and geological setting as the existing big iron ore mines in this area. In this case, we drilled 94 drill holes, and we have established a JOG-compliant inferred mineral resource of 10.6 million tons, grading at 60% Fe. We have completed a scoping study on mining and processing, and on this direct picture, you can see that we have identified 6 mining loads, this being the main load, that the sub basin of the main load. We've got the mid load, we've got that northeastern load, northwest, northeast, and the northern loads. And we believe that we will mine this in terms of different pits. But we must say that we believe that geologically there's a lot of potential for increasing this resource size, because as you know, geologically you never have deposits that end in perfect straight lines and cutoffs like that. So this shows that in between these, there's still a lot of potential and scope for drilling and extending the resource base. So as I've said, we've got 10.46 million tons, grading at 60% Fe, and our production rate is around 1.25 million tons of ROM and 750 kilotons of product. Scheduling and optimization indicated 8-year life of mine on the current resource, and more work obviously is underway to try and increase the resource base and confirm continuity of the resource between the identified pits. And this, our resource table shows that, again here, the chemistry of the iron ore is really good and favorable. And we have significant potential for DSO, but also potential for processing and upgrading the iron ore. As I've said, we're looking at 1.25 million tons of production run-of-mine throughput, and we're targeting a 62% Fe saleable ore of between 750,000 tons to 1 million tons. In terms of our split between lump and fine, we're looking at between 400,000 and 338 to 450,000 tons of fine product. On this project, we've applied for a mining right. We've just received an authorization on the EIA, and we're actually waiting the granting of the mining right itself. We're hoping that that will happen still this year, and we can get the project underway. The Cascades Iron Ore project is a very huge magnetite project, based at the town of Tabazimbi along the border of Swaziland. It is located about 350 kilometers southeast of Johannesburg. It is close to existing railway, particularly the coal line to Richards Bay. It consists of banded iron formation hosted magnetite, which is tabular in nature and dipping very gently, with a dip of between 7 and 15 degrees. Our total mineral resource estimate is around 2.2 billion tons, grading at just under 30% Fe. We have applied for a mining right, and we are waiting regulatory approval on this project as well. So as you said, this is an interesting deposit. As you can see, very continuous, gently dipping, 2.2 billion tons. And pending regular processes, I think we believe that we would start development on this pit, this area, which in itself carries about just under 1 billion tons of magnetite. Here you can see the different sections showing the different layers of magnetite and confirming the fact that it is gently steeping and outcropping on the surface. These are the mineral resource loads, and you'll see in this diagram at the bottom that if you look at the different mineral resources that we've identified, we have got 133 million tons of measured resources grading at just under 32% Fe, 614,000 tons, 614 million tons grading at just under 30% Fe, and 250 million tons just grading at around 28% Fe. We have a very shallow stripping ratio of 1.61, and currently with this kind of production schedule, we would have a life of mine of 21 years, basically just looking at the 1 billion tons. And you can see our schedule, we're looking at processing starting with around 2.2 million tons of ore to be processed, 1.4 million tons of waste to be stripped, and then 446 million tons of product. And again, that will then upgrade over the years. Okay, so we are targeting production of 2.2 million tons of concentrate per annum, and run of mine will be from 3 open pits that would feed to a crushing and milling plant. This will then go through to low intensity magnetic separation plant. We'll do reverse flotation, and we're looking at the final product being pellets, which will be for local and for international markets. Okay, this becomes a summary of the products that we envisage that will feed are just under 30% Fe, run of mine. We will upgrade through milling and magnetic separation to 39% Fe, and through reverse flotation and low intensity magnetic separation fraction, will then up the concentration of Fe to 46%, and then through a second rotate the grade to 68% Fe, and then will produce iron ore pellets of around 67% Fe. The Gravenhage manganese project, which we are holding together with Aquila Resources, this is an interesting project, a significant project by any nature in terms of manganese. It is located next to the Kalahari manganese field in the Northern Cape province. This is where the project is positioned, and this is our tenements. We've got 2 tenements, the Avontuur and the Gravenhage farm itself. And you can see that the bulk of the deposit is on the farm Gravenhage, even though it continues into Avontuur, there, and at the bottom here, at Eerstegund. You can see here is then at the bottom, the Kalahari manganese field, that is Vessel's mine. And you can see that there's a very nice continuity of this resource into the Kalahari manganese field. So the project is held by the Tabazimbi joint venture, through which we are a 26% partner. The mining right has just been granted last year to Aquila, and we're looking at options for the development of the project. As we've said that Currently, the total mineral resource is around 142 million tons, grading between 38 and 40% MN. A bankable feasibility study has been done and completed. And in terms of our plans, you can see we are going to start development at the Grabenhagen mine. And then we will then move into the different pits and areas where is potential in the Avontuur basin. In a nutshell, this is Motjoli Resources. We have very interesting and exciting projects that we are pursuing in South Africa, some by ourselves and some in partnership with other companies. We believe that with the current ore resource price, particularly iron ore and manganese, we hold really exciting prospects. Thank you very much.